I've helped my clients generate over $4.2 million. I've also booked over 3,000 sales calls, and I've helped over 134 agencies to scale their revenue. In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can go from zero, having unpredictable bookings, not knowing when you're actually going to get sales calls, having shrinking revenue, to the point where you can book 1 to 3 calls per day predictably yourself, and then finally to the point where you're booking 2 to 10 calls every single day completely automatically, and you're only paying for these calls on a complete commission pay on results basis. So I'll be covering the 5 steps that you need to take and that you can use today to start booking more meetings, scaling your revenue, and growing your agency. So step 1 is to find something called offer niche resonance. Now, simply put, it sounds like this complicated thing, but all it means is that we need to find something that people want, right? So we need to pick a niche, which is just a group of people, and provide an offer that helps them. Now, if you're running an agency, you're most likely helping businesses. Why businesses? Businesses have money. And people, if you're helping students or people in university, they don't have money. So what you're going to do is you target businesses and you have an offer that helps them to generate a result. And this result is more revenue. So you may be offering something like Facebook ads or email marketing or anything that can help your clients generate more sales or more leads. So if you're watching this, I assume that you already have the foundations in place and that you've already chosen a niche, you already have a service, you even already have clients. Who I'm speaking to now is when you're in the situation where you may be reaching out to people. You may have tried outreach, you may have tried cold email, cold calling, social media outbound, working with an agency, working with a lead gen person, but it still just hasn't worked. And maybe it's because you couldn't stand out from everyone else. Maybe it's because you sent these messages, you just didn't get replies. If any of these are the case, then this is exactly what you need. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to take the service that you have, and ideally, you should already have case studies, and you want to turn this, the work that you've already done, and show that to the market. And this is the offer. You're essentially explaining the value that you already created by doing work for clients and presenting it to the market. So simply put, the easiest way that you can do this is simply by taking what you've already done and then documenting it. So let's say you work with a client and you help them to add an extra $50,000 per month within 6 months. That becomes your offer. So instead of going around saying, hey, I'm this copywriter, DMing every guy you can find, or I run Facebook ads and I do all these things, all you're gonna do is you're gonna say, hey, I help people in this niche to add an extra $50,000 per month within 6 months. And this is your offer. And as soon as you're clear on exactly who you're helping and the exact outcome that you help to achieve, that is step 1 done. It doesn't matter. You don't need to do all these crazy things. You don't need to read Hormozi $100 million offers, all this stuff. You just need to know who are you helping? What are you helping them to achieve specifically with numbers? And have you done it before? And if you have, then you can move to step 2. Now, if you haven't done this before, you have to go off of expectation. You have to assume what you can get for someone. And the easiest way to do this is just look around the market, right? There's probably a million people offering the same thing as you. Honestly, what you're doing is probably not unique, which is fine. You can just look at what they're doing and model the outcomes that they're promising. This is going to become your offer. Now, the next step is to find something called system proof of concept. And this simply means that the system, and I'll explain what that is in a second, the system that you're using in your campaigns are able to generate booking, right? That's it. So what your system comprises of is your initial message, your follow-ups, and then your tracking. Simply put, it's the first message you say, right, to actually get a positive reply. The next is your follow-up. So if they don't reply to this one, or if they reply positively, right, they want more information, they want to get onto a call, but then you send the link and they just don't book, that's where the follow-ups come in. So you send the initial message, either they reply and just want to book on a call, that's fantastic, or you need to send follow-ups to actually get them to that booking. And then finally, to actually determine whether your system is working, you need tracking. And this encapsulates the entire thing. And this is essentially knowing that your system works. So things that you track is, how many messages did you send? How many positive replies did you get? And then finally, how many bookings did you get? And this applies to whether you're doing cold emailing, social outbound, cold calling, whatever it is. But in the context of what I'm talking about now, I'm referring to the social outbound methods. So if you're using LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all of this. So using this system, right, you have the first message, so what you're actually pitching them, and I'll explain how to create yours in a second. What you're actually pitching them, what are you saying to get them onto that call, and then overall, how many of these prospects that you message become a booking. And what you'll get is a very simple metric called your appointment booking rate. Every single person should know this number, and if you don't, you most likely aren't getting booking. So what this number is if you send 100 messages, right, what percentage of these people book in? So using our systems, and this is what we talk about in our program, out of every 100 messages you send, you should book at least 3 calls. So what I would recommend now is if you have your data tracked, for the few of you that do, look into your data currently and see from every 100 messages you send, are you booking at least 3 calls? If not, something's really wrong with it, right? 3% is the absolute minimum that we expect with it. So if you're not getting that, then something needs to change on your initial message or your follow-up. So showing you how to create every single message in the entire system is going to take probably 3 hours to explain. So what I can do is I can give you the most effective message, the most effective initial message that you can use to book meetings. And I've used this to book over 1 to 3 calls every single day for myself, and what my clients have used to do the exact same. And what you can do is on whatever platform you're using, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever it is, use the message that goes something like this. Hey, hope you're doing great. Just wanted to reach out because I've got an opportunity that I think could help you to sign a lot more clients. But the last thing I want to do is start making some pitch without your permission. So if you're open to some more info, just let me know with a thumbs up or get it sent over. If not, no problem at all. And generally, this message alone has booked over 4,000 calls. So what you want to do when you're creating this for yourself is just replace the outcome with what you're offering. So instead of offering more clients, you may be offering more sales, more leads, whatever your service entails. And this is why we needed the offer niche resonance at the beginning, because essentially, if you know what your niche wants, you can guarantee that they're going to want what you're offering now. So there's no real guesswork as to whether, do they actually like this? Do they actually want this? Is my message right? Should I change it? None of that's there. It's certain that it's going to work if you are reaching out to the right people. So what you want to do now is use your system. Use your initial message, use your follow-ups, and track your numbers. And when you're at a 3% ABR, you qualify to scale. And if you're using these systems and you want myself and my team to personally review your messages, we actually created a free school community where you can actually post your scripts, ask us questions. I'm literally in there directly. And we can just fast track the path to you getting to around 1 to 3 bookings per day at least, and then scaling your agency from there. So if you want to join that group, just check the description. There should be a link. You can apply. And if you get accepted, then we can help you out. And as I mentioned, it is literally completely free. So you have nothing to lose by joining the group. Now, step number 3 is hiring setters. So like I was saying, before you're hiring setters and scaling, you need to have the foundations in place. So you need to have an offer that your niche actually wants. You need to have a system that's actually consistently booking meetings. For context, you should be having at least a 3% ABR. And if you have this, you qualify to scale. Now, what scaling looks like is all the things that you're currently doing manually, right? Sending the outreach, doing the follow-ups. What you're going to do is you're going to have someone else do this for you. So you're essentially duplicating your output and having it done by another person. So essentially you can have double the output by having yourself doing the work and a setter doing the work. So you can get to the point where if you're booking 2 calls per day yourself, you can have a setter doing the exact same. And now you're booking 4 calls per day. So at this point, if you're going from not having a predictable way to get meetings, right? You're getting maybe 1 referral booking per week and the guy doesn't even show, or you're not getting enough to actually reach your goal. Maybe it's 50K, 100K. Imagine what you could be doing with 4 extra bookings every single day, right? Even if you just had 1 per day, you could be closing at 20% and you'll be signing a client every week. So hiring setters is a no-brainer because on top of that, you also pay them on a commission basis, meaning that only when they get qualified calls, then you pay them, let's say $30, $40, $50 per qualified call. And the question that I always get is, why would a setter want to do this? There's all these businesses, but no one has commission-based setters. And the reason why we're able to do this and nobody else can do this is because we already have a proven system. They're coming onto the winning team, right? You already have a system that's booking meetings. You have the 3% ABR. It's like, just follow this and you will get paid, right? It may seem from the outside like it's some risky sales job and you don't know if it's going to work, but in reality, it's probably better than any other commission-based sales job because they're just following the winning system. So that's why whenever I post for setters, there's always these endless applications because everyone just knows our system works. So the first step to hiring setters is to just know what you're going to expect. So what I want you to do is just open up, let's say, a Google Doc or post in the free group just so I can give you feedback, and just list out how many bookings you expect to get using your system, right? Let's say it's just a booking or 2 per day. Multiply that by how many days they're going to be working. So let's say 5 days a week, and then how many weeks in a month they're working. So 5 days in a week times 4 weeks, that's 20 days. If they get 2 bookings every day, they're going to get 40 bookings. Now, what you want to do is just determine an ideal rate for your setup. So let's say this is $50 per booking. So at this rate, they'll be paid $2,000 every single month. That's the expectation. Now, this is assuming they actually get to that point. And don't worry, they're not just going to come on day 1 and you have to drop $2,000 on them. Like, it's going to be a gradual build up to that point. So don't worry about that. So once you have the expectation, now you can make the job post. And simply put, what you're mentioning is the expected pay is around $2,000. Training is provided, systems are working, direct mentorship with you. And now you just put that in a Google Doc, create a Loom explaining, the actual description so that they can understand who you are, just get some more info about that, then just post it, right? So there's endless places to find setters. You could use Facebook groups, going into sales groups, beginner agency groups, things like that. You can go into school groups. But honestly, the method that I found to be most effective is tapping into your audience. So if you've been posting content, maybe that's on YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is, just make a post on there. You'll be surprised of how many people are looking for something like this. And honestly, the best place to find setters is actually just tapping into your personal network. If you have, let's say, a friend from high school, a friend that's in uni, maybe some stay-at-home mom, what they can do is they'll want the extra income. Maybe that's 2K, 3K, 4K. And as long as they have the traits of consistency, meaning they'll do the same thing over and over, and charisma, meaning they're a positive person, they like speaking to people, if they have these characteristics, then they're a perfect fit and you already trust them. That's the thing. So you can get them on, then obviously just send them the document with the Loom so that they can watch it and understand it, set up an interview. And then if they're the right fit, you can just show them this video so they understand what's happening. But if they're the right fit, then you can start onboarding and getting results. Now, step 4, assuming you've got setters on board, the next step is to train them. Now, the best part about this is the way that we've designed the system, it doesn't take much time. Most of these companies, they spend hours and hours every single week manually training people just for them to forget what they taught the next day. What we're going to be doing is documenting all the processes that you currently did. So how you track, how you send messages, what your messages are. Put everything in one Google Doc, add videos to explain yourself going through everything so they're clear on it and the process, and just give that to them. They'll spend a couple hours watching it on the first day. By day 2, they should be ready. And then all you want to do is you want to schedule regular meetings with them. I'd recommend 2 to 5 calls every single week, purely just to check in, give them feedback, and get them up to where you are. And genuinely, that is all you need to get a setter from starting out, not knowing anything about this, to the point where they are booking the same as you. So let's say 1 to 3 calls every day. And now your output is duplicated. And finally, step 5, scaling. Now what this involves is basically what you just did now, right? In that you found proof of concept for yourself. Then you've got a setter on to manage the process and duplicate your efforts. You're doing the exact same. So as soon as your setter finds their proof of concept, so they're meeting what you were doing, now you can get another setter on board, okay? And it's simply just a matter of getting as many setters to fill up your calendar as possible, right? So you get 1 more, 2 more setters, get them up to capacity as well. And the best part about this is when you're training your second or third setter, they don't have to ask you questions. They can just ask the original setter all the questions. So you free up all your time in training and management and all that, and they can just, deal with it themselves. And then you get all of them to KPI and you're booking more meetings than ever. And then beyond that point, most likely the next constraint you're going to run into, because again, we've seen this so many times, is that with all these bookings, your calendar is going to be maxed out. You're just not going to have any more time. At this point, you focus on getting a sales rep. And then once you have even more capacity, then you get even more setters. You hire a setter manager. They cover all the management and all the hiring of new setters. And essentially, if you just keep doing this, you will scale rapidly. And this is how I've seen people go from 5K to 10K to 30K to 50K to 100K extremely quickly.